welcome to your custom deep dive. Today we are looking at a 2026 Supreme Court of India judgment that fundamentally rewrites how society handles crime, punishment, and, human dignity itself.
Yeah, we are unpacking the landmark case of Suhas Chakma v. Union of India.
The mission here is really to trace this monumental shift from punitive incarceration.
Just locking people in cages, basically.
Right, shifting from that to actual reformative justice. To set the scene, picture a prison cell built for 2 people, but it's currently holding 5 or 6.
Which is the grim baseline we're starting from here. The data shows Indian jails operating at a staggering 120.8% national average occupancy.
Wow.
Yeah, it creates an environment where people are crammed into, frankly, animal-like conditions. And for a long time, the stopgap was just granting temporary bail during crises.
But that obviously didn't fix the structural rot of an overflowing system.
Not at all.
Which brings us to the court's revolutionary, if highly debated, solution. Open Correctional Institutions, or OCIs.
Essentially, these are prisons without bars.
Yeah, where inmates can live with their families and actually go out into the community to work during the day.
To understand how we get there, though, we really have to look at the economics. The court appointed an amicus curiae, an independent legal expert, to investigate on their behalf.
And the fiscal reality they uncovered was jarring.
It really was.
So essentially, states were paying a massive premium just for the privilege of treating people worse. You have to hear this specific data. A traditional closed jail costs the state nearly 7,094 rupees per prisoner every single month. An open prison, just 500.
Just 500 rupees. It costs almost 14 times more to keep someone behind high-security walls. The court realized that expanding open prisons is as much a matter of pure fiscal rationality as it is human rights.
Right, if an inmate isn't a flight risk.
Spending massive amounts of public funds to guard them makes zero economic sense.
Exactly. But you still need a strong legal foundation to justify letting convicted prisoners just walk out the front gate to go to a day job.
Well, they anchored the ruling in Article 21 of the Indian Constitution, which protects life and personal liberty. The judges made it unequivocally clear that a person's right to dignity and their capacity for reformation don't just evaporate the second they step into a prison.
The state actually has a duty to treat them as human beings capable of change.
Absolutely.
But as revolutionary as this sounds, the data showed a glaring double standard. This right to reform was basically a men-only privilege.
Yes. States like Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, and West Bengal systematically excluded women from these open facilities.
And the universal excuse from these states was security concerns, right?
Always security. They argued that open facilities lacked the infrastructure to keep women safe, effectively using this paternalistic idea of protection to deny female inmates access to rehabilitation.
They were essentially saying, we can't afford to build safe open barracks for you. So for your own good, we're going to keep you in the overcrowded, hyper-expensive, closed jails.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And the court called out that blatant hypocrisy. They ruled the practice unconstitutional under Articles 14 and 15, which guarantee equality and prohibit discrimination based on gender.
And to really hammer the point home, the court brought in international frameworks. They cited the Nelson Mandela rules, which set the global baseline for treating prisoners with dignity, and specifically the Bangkok rules.
Right, and those Bangkok rules are tailored specifically to women in the justice system.
Recognizing that their pathways to prison and their rehabilitation needs are vastly different from men.
Yes. The court used these to take a definitive stance. Vague security concerns or a lack of state infrastructure cannot be a perpetual free pass to deny women their fundamental right to reform.
It strips away the excuse that equality is just too difficult to implement.
Exactly.
So looking at the practical fallout of this judgment, the court handed down some strict binding directions to force this change.
They started with an immediate mandate to restructure barracks to accommodate women in open prisons. No more hiding behind structural limitations.
And they established a high-powered committee.
Led by Justice S. Ravindra Bhatt, that committee's job is to create binding, common minimum standards for prisons across all of India.
Which completely dismantles the old, fragmented system where your chance at reform depended entirely on which state you were locked up in.
Right.
For you listening, whether you practice law or just pay taxes, this completely redefines how civilization treats its prisoners. For lawyers, the focus fundamentally shifts to proving an inmate's reformative potential.
And for the public, it proves the massive societal and taxpayer benefits of rehabilitation over pure retribution.
But as we dismantle physical walls and iron bars in favor of open systems, it leaves us with a modern dilemma.
because it's highly likely those physical walls will soon be replaced by invisible technological ones.
Think 204/7 biometric tracking or GPS ankle monitors for every single inmate in an open facility.
A digital cage instead of an iron one.
It makes you wonder how that kind of constant surveillance will interact with the very human dignity this judgment fought so hard to protect. Something for you to ponder long after we wrap up today. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.